All right, Sharon Goodall, FightHype.com. I'm here with my man Sergio Mora. How's everything?
Tell me, what did you just call me doing? I was putting my eye drops. It's hot in the desert over here.
It's fair. It's fair. It's definitely like, so he's not crying. There's nothing like that, right?
Nothing like that. Eye drops.
But first and foremost, I just had to get your first immediate reaction to that.
Crazy, right?
Yeah, right? You already know the De La Hoya Canelo.
Listen, man, I don't think you got to poke the Mexican bear like that. I think you just pissed off an already, motivated Canelo. But it wasn't Munguia's fault. It was Oscar De La Hoya. But I got to give credit to Oscar De La Hoya for being a promoter. I mean, he's loving what he's doing right now. I mean, he's stoking the fire, but he's being a promoter. And, I mean, yeah, that was interesting. I've never seen Canelo get out of character like that.
You know, with some of the stuff that Oscar was saying, right? And the stuff Canelo was saying, I know you don't know, but like, do you feel like there was some truth between the two, that what they were saying was kind of very personal and kind of was built up, waiting to something like this?
Nah, man, there's a hidden resentment here. There's something that, only they know. He was talking about, well, first of all, he was saying some derogatory things, Canelo, out of anger. And then he was talking about, De La Hoya stealing money. I mean, these are some hard accusations at Oscar De La Hoya that go well beyond just beef. There's an anger there, and it's a hidden anger, so it blew up in front of all our faces. And I think it's just going to make the fight even bigger and better, but I don't think it was planned for Canelo to do that. I think it was planned for Oscar De La Hoya to do it. He wrote a speech. Canelo just reacted out of passion, and we don't get to see him get out of temperament like that, out of character.
You know what, the huge win with Ryan Garcia, do you feel like De La Hoya is, I want to say rejuvenated, because he's always been in boxing, right? But what I mean, like, that's a huge win, and if Munguia will happen to beat Canelo, like, these are some, like, future faces of boxing, right, that we're talking.
Man, Oscar De La Hoya will probably have one of the best, few weeks in promoter history. I mean, and then Jose Ramirez in Fresno, packed house, his first fight with Golden Boy, the mega success with Ryan Garcia, and now Canelo. If Munguia can actually beat the top dog, yeah, Oscar De La Hoya, he'll be on top of the world. But for right now, Munguia has his hands full. I think he just pissed off Canelo even more, so Oscar De La Hoya did. So, yeah, man, this is going to be exciting.
Every time Canelo, quote-unquote, looks pissed, right? I guess, like, Caleb Plant, Gennady Golovkin, I mean, he definitely rises to the occasion, right? So with that little extra push that was kind of the wrong move from De La Hoya.
Yeah, you don't piss off people like Canelo. Canelo doesn't get out of character, like I said. And when he does get out of character, like he did against Boo Boo Andrade in that press conference, it's so unlike him. And people are like, whoa, he has that side of him. And we just saw it in front of our eyes. I mean, these are two fighters. Fighters have that machismo, that blood boiling, but Canelo just, displayed it in front of everybody, and Oscar loved it. Oscar loved every second of it.
You have a prediction on this fight?
Yeah, I like Canelo late. Canelo carries his power into the later rounds. He knocked out Kovalev in the 11th. He knocked out Caleb Plant in the 11th. I can see this fight ending around those similar rounds. Early in the fight, Munguia is going to have to. He's going to have to go through some fire, and if he can go through that and actually, get some shots in himself, the first half of the fight could be interesting.
Would it be safe to say David Benavidez is if not maybe the only fight that makes sense for Canelo afterwards?
Man, I hate to think that fight doesn't happen, Benavidez and Canelo, but I got to respect what Canelo's saying. There's always going to be a monster around the corner. If it's not Golovkin, it's this guy, it's Dibivo, it's Beterbiev, there's always going to be a monster there. So Canelo's just going to, keep having to keep facing these guys they put in front of him. Benavidez is the next one. After Benavidez, they'll probably beat Morel. After Morel, it'll be someone else. That's just the way this game is. And Canelo's taking on the biggest and toughest challenges, even on the fighters that no one wanted him to fight. Erizon Lara, Austin Trout. These were southpaws that no one wanted to fight. Canelo fought them. Dimitri Bivol, he fought him. Canelo takes on every challenge. Benavidez is just another one.
Just my last couple questions. The next big fight it looks like that PBC is going to put on is going to be Gervonta versus Frank Martin. I mean, do you like that fight?
Yeah,
you have a breakdown of
it? No, I really like that fight. It won't be a big fight as far as it won't be a big fight as far as like Ryan Garcia and Tank, the numbers wise and mainstream wise, but boxing wise, yeah, Frank Martin's the truth. It's just when Gervonta Davis is motivated, I mean, he's pretty much unbeatable at lightweight. So, yeah, Martin's going to have his hands full if he gets past the first half of the fight. And if he does, that fight can be interesting. Frank Martin can fight.
You think Shakur should get the winner of that in a perfect world of boxing?
Of course, but he won't because Shakur's too good. When you're that damn special, that damn gifted, people avoid you. He has everything wrong that you don't want in a fighter. He's high fight IQ. He's a southpaw. He has Olympic pedigree. He's super confident. He's super fast. He's from the out. That guy's a nightmare. Unless you have to fight a guy like that, that's the only way. That's the only way Shakur gets the success and the respect that he deserves. He's a top dog. It's just no one wants to fight him.
The last two questions is, last time I spoke to you, we talked a little bit about Mike Tyson and Jake Paul, but now we know it's a sanctioned bout. So because of it, I mean, are you a little resenting the idea that this fight?
Look, man, I give Jake Paul a lot of credit for doing what he's doing, but he's fighting a senior citizen pretty much. Man is going to be 58 years old by the time the fight takes place. It's going to be with oversized gloves. It's going to be 2-minute rounds. So if he really wants to make a fight, then why don't you do it with regular 10-ounce glove and do it by the commission? But they're doing everything but that. So do I respect it as an event? I have to. It's Mike Tyson. But you're not beating Iron Mike. You're beating this older version. And it's just kind of it's one of these popular sideshows that people are getting accustomed to, and people are going to watch. People are going to tune in.
You think the Texas Commission should get ridiculed if anything happens to either one of these guys, or it's just boxing? Like everyone gets.
It's beyond my pay grade, man. Texas Commission has been at the center of a lot of controversial issues. It's just going to be another one if something happens.
My last question is in regards of, Terrence is going to be headlining this pretty much fight card fantasy of like big matchups that a lot of people think should be like main event cards, right? So, just what's your thoughts on the whole Turkey coming to LA, bringing?
I mean, that's one of the greatest, top to bottom billings in a long time. It reminds you of like the 1990s when Don King used to put these tournaments with junior middleweights and Chavez and Terry Norris and on the same card. Simon Brown. It's that type of great. I love what Turkey Al-Sheikh, His Excellency, is doing in boxing. Everyone's saying he's saving boxing. Boxing can be saved, but he's definitely making it mainstream where everyone's talking about it with fights like these, fights in Saudi Arabia. That kind of money bringing, promoters together, that kind of money bringing, fighters that normally won't fighting.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it takes big money to do that, and, the Saudis are making it happen. And you got to respect that, man. August 3rd is going to be one of the biggest events, top to bottom, that I can recall in the last 25 years. Who knows, man?
When things are good, on the winning side, everything continues. But I know that Spence lost, so his split with Derek James, was that like surprising in boxing? Or
no, it's not surprising, man. It happened to Golovkin and Abel Sanchez. It happens in boxing all the time once you start making hundreds of millions of dollars or even tens of millions of dollars, Once those pay-per-view numbers come in and it was a hit and you realize you got more money than expected, that's when the fine writing in the contract should have been, explained perfectly. And it's a shame because, stuff like that happens all the time in boxing. And, one fight, money just changes people. They should have had a written agreement or a handshake deal saying, if it makes this much money, this is what you're going to get paid. Kind of like what Golovkin did with Abel Sanchez. Abel Sanchez wasn't having it, and that's the reason they split. It just sucks that it comes to this because Errol Spence and Derek James are, they're the best. That's trainer of the year. That's a pound-for-pound talent, and now it came to this split over money. It's tragic.
You meant when you said like a handshake, like I guess translating that in court, like because you're a fighter, you've had trainers, so I mean, how do you?
I've never had a contract with my trainer.
Really?
Most boxers don't have contracts with the trainers, which is something that maybe should be more used because especially when you're fighting on these big events, when you're making this type of life-changing money, you have to amend your initial agreement. I would say the majority of boxers, champions, don't have a written agreement with their trainer.
And why not? Is this just kind of like a loyalty thing? Like, oh, we got here, or
exactly
just?
What it is. It's a loyalty thing. We've been with each other since day one, since we're kids. We grow all the way up together. That's like a brother figure. That's like a father figure. And who would think that you're gonna screw over a family like that? But money makes you do funny things, man. Especially when it's that amount of money. It's generational money, and it's just tragic that that it happens to that. It breaks up real solid friendships. I hate to see it.
I appreciate your time, being one of the best commentators out in boxing right now. I'm assuming you'll be calling on the DAZN broadcast.
We'll be calling for DAZN, me, Chris Mannix, and Todd Grisham, and then you're going to get the Amazon Prime team. But we're looking forward to it, man. This is going to be exciting.
Awesome. Appreciate it.
My man.